And speaking of other things that are not your favorite to watch, Echo came out.
Yes, it did.
Which is a Marvel series based upon, is her name Echo?
Yeah.
In the show?
In the comic book?
Well, in the comic book, I guess.
I don't know. I guess so. I'm assuming she's a real character.
Yeah, I would assume so. When I first started watching this, I was like, okay, yeah, I know who this is because they were in Hawkeye.
Oh,
pretty big character in Hawkeye.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I haven't seen Hawkeye or any of that shit.
No.
So I'm watching it. Did you know immediately that it was Hawkeye that killed her dad?
Yeah.
So I'm watching it, and the whole thing is like she's a deaf girl. Her parents died.
As soon as it went to that timeline, where it's like more in the modern, present, modern. I was like, oh, okay, I know all this.
Okay. So was that in Hawkeye?
Yeah, that's all in Hawkeye.
Like that exact stuff.
That exact stuff, yeah.
Like it's like seen like the exact.
They took the exact scenes from Hawkeye and put it in there.
So I've not seen Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm watching this, and she's fighting for the. This is maybe why I didn't like it, because I was like, they really did. This should have been in like 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah.
This show.
Yeah, that happened in Hawkeye. Over 2 or 3 episodes.
Okay, because I'm like. She's all of a sudden fighting the Daredevil, and she's trying to find who killed her dad. And her dad's dead, and like, Kingpin's there, and I'm like, oh god, it's like never ending. Like everything's just happening. Like, where's a break here or whatever?
Yeah.
And then I got to find who killed my dad. My dad's been murdered, and and then it's like it's Hawkeye. I was like, what the fuck is Hawkeye doing murdering these people? And I'm like, where's his bow?
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
This is post blip. Or post snap.
Yeah. So I was just like, I went upstairs and I saw my roommate was watching it with his son, and they were like on the last episode or something like that. And I was like, wow, this show's pretty bad, eh? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, what's the deal with Hawkeye? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, where was his bow? And he was killing everybody with a sword. And my roommate's son was like, yeah, that's when he was sad.
That is when he was sad, because when Thanos snaps, his family completely disappears, right? And so he becomes Ronin.
Yeah.
And just starts killing bad people that did not deserve to not get snapped.
This show did a very bad job getting in someone who doesn't give a shit about watching other Marvel stuff.
That seems to be the trend with this series of Marvel stuff, is that you need to have watched everything. Otherwise, things aren't going to make sense.
Yes and no. Like, you didn't need to watch anything to see Miss Marvel.
No, that was
She-Hulk,
completely.
I would say the same.
That was completely. Yeah, She-Hulk and Miss Marvel were two.
But obviously, what's the difference between
things.
those two and this here?
But also now, you need to have watched Miss Marvel to watch the Marvels.
Yeah,
maybe.
But those shows, I mean, what's the difference between those two that you can just come in and enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, they were way more lighthearted.
Yeah, exactly.
Way more lighthearted.
Exactly.
Way.
This is taking itself so seriously, dude.
Echo is in the same vein as Daredevil, The Fist, Punisher, all that kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, it was just, and even after the part where they finally and the other thing too is like, I'm like, oh, Echo, let me watch this. So I click on it on Disney Plus, and it takes me to the synopsis of the episode. And it's the first thing it says is like, after Echo kills Kingpin, and I'm like, why would they put that in the synopsis? Like,
yeah, because that happens. It picks right up after the last episode of Hawkeye.
Yeah,
of what she's doing.
Yeah. So, anyways, it was just like, okay, but then even when she goes back home, she wants to take on the Kingpin around the world now, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, there's just like things that I shouldn't care about where it's like, let's climb this water tower. And I've got a binocular set up here already. No problem.
Yeah.
Let's take a look around town. There's a nice cover on it and everything.
Yeah. There's ionizing radiation up there.
That's just like,
that's a cell tower on top of the water tower.
But why are these binoculars up here ready to go?
Because he's been spying.
Okay, well, I didn't.
It's a good view of the town, I guess. I don't know.
I guess so.
Big plus of this show, Graham Greene.
Oh yeah, that was surprising.
Graham Greene is in the show.
Yeah, I was like, of course. I probably won't see him again in the show, but
There is
maybe, I don't know. He'll be, because in the past he's like 80 when they show her as a young kid.
Yeah.
So he'd be like 100 if she comes back.
Yeah,
now.
I don't know if he's gonna.
So I don't know if he'd be in more episodes.
If they do more flashbacks, I think he's going to be in more episodes, but I don't
Yeah.
know if they're going to do any more flashbacks. There is a supernatural element to the show, which we saw at the very start, which they don't really touch on until like the end of the first episode. And we don't have any idea what that is going to be. And we're, the wife and I are pretty excited for when that actually shows up.
That's well, because it's like it's like the creation myth of the Choctaw Indians is what it was showing basically. And I mean, well, I saw part of the last episode my roommate was in, and I was like, okay, she does have powers.
Oh yeah, yeah. I will probably just binge this now. Now that if we're not gonna continue,
Well,
to
we
watch.
can't. I mean, I can watch.
Yeah, I mean, we
more
might as
of
well,
it.
right?
I mean, I'm not gonna watch it all at once though.
No.
But if you want to watch one per week, I'll do that.
yeah, let's do that
Okay.
just to see where it goes.
Daredevil was in it.
Yeah, I love Daredevil.
He said a line, I guess. I don't remember.
He said a
really.
couple.
They fought.
He made
but
a couple bucks.
It's fairly obvious to me when it's the stunt double versus the actual Echo actress.
Yeah.
Well, they just have, it's the typical like thing where it's like, oh, they have a different body type. Like if you see Uma Thurman's stunt double in Kill Bill, it's like, wow, she's way shorter than she actually is. Because like this Uma Thurman's like 6 feet tall, and then like what her name Zoe Bell is like, 5 something. So she's way stumpier looking.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways.
I'm excited for more Daredevil. I hope Daredevil's in it more.
But do you think it's going to be like the Netflix show? Like when the Daredevil show comes out?
I don't know.
Or do you think it's just going to be like PG-13?
I'm not entirely sure, because the Daredevil that did come out was pretty intense. There's a lot of blood flowing everywhere, and it's pretty intense. And
But do you think Disney's going to do that?
I would imagine so.
Why would you imagine that?
Just to continue it on.
But like,
Disney's
what makes more money for Disney?
Disney's
a
not
PG-13 Daredevil, or like
probably a PG-13 Daredevil.
A Daredevil that only adults will be able to go really watch.
That's what I want.
Well, sorry, sorry, you're not going to get that. Sorry. Yeah, they did a bad job just bringing in a new person. Like most of this, you can't if I came out of a cave for 20 years and they're like, hey, you want to watch this? You can't really watch anything Marvel related.
Not anymore, no.
Because it'd be like, how did we get to this point?
Like here's flashbacks from 3 different shows.
Even thankfully, they're not doing the origin stories for like Spider-Man anymore.
Right?
But like, it's just like,
it's like, the origin story's been done 3 times already. We don't need to do
everyone
it again.
knows that now. We don't need to do it another time. But like Hawkeye, like, okay, it was in Hawkeye, so everyone knew it was Hawkeye except me.
Yeah.
So why not just be like it was Hawkeye from the start?
Well, Ronan was also in Endgame.
Okay. But everyone knows he's Hawkeye except me.
Yeah.
So like,
Have you not watched Endgame before?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh. Okay.
The last Avengers movie I watched was like Ultron.
Wow.
But it's like, why did they leave it as a big reveal? I mean, I guess to me it was surprising, but it wasn't like, oh, it's Hawkeye. It was like, what? Hawkeye? So.
Yeah, it's a weird choice that they're making now to just like, well, you got to be a Marvel fan and have watched everything. I don't think that's a good idea. But
yeah,
it is what it is, I guess. It's I like watching it because, I've watched all the Marvel.
Yeah.
Not all of it, mind you. Haven't watched,
What haven't you watched?
The stuff that takes place in Hell's Kitchen other than Daredevil.
Oh, like the Defenders?
Yeah, so like anything to do with the Defenders.
And the other
I watched a little bit
Jones.
of Jessica Jones,
Iron
The
Fist.
Iron Fist, all that kind
Punisher.
of stuff. Haven't watched that.
Punisher,
haven't watched it. Even though Punisher was my favorite anti-hero growing up.
Yeah. I like what's his name that plays the Punisher.
Yeah. Started Cloak and Dagger. Don't know if I'll finish that. It's too much of a kid's show, I think, for me. I mean, it's great. It's well acted. The effects are great, but and the storyline's pretty good, but
yeah.
haven't watched any of that. There's a lot to get through. I'm sure I will start once I'm done rewatching every Marvel movie, which I'm pretty close to doing, actually.
Oh, wow.
I have The Eternals, the latest Spider-Man, and the new Doctor Strange to go. And then I think that's it. And then, of course, the Marvels, but I don't know when that's getting out into streaming.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's on.
So then I can go back because, I walk for half an hour on the treadmill. So that'll be a good time to get into those series like The Defenders, like Iron Fist and all that, to just kind of like every day, just treadmill, watch an episode, go from there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully it gets better.
Yeah, I mean, it should.
You think
and
so?
Hopefully we get more Graham Greene.
Do you think so?
I can only hope so.
Secret Invasion didn't get better.
Well, yeah.
Sure got worse, actually. I think after the first episode, I was like, okay, all right, we'll see where this is going. And then it was just like, wow.
Yep.
Okay, that's cool.
Yep.
The only other thing I watched that you should watch, you motherfucker, is True Detective Season 4, Episode 1.
Yeah?
Yes. Yes.
Gotta get Danae into it. Otherwise, I gotta watch it on the treadmill.
She will be into it. It's like a detective show, but there's like, I've only watched season 1 of True Detective, and I watched like the first couple episodes of season 2, but it's not like you don't have to watch they're different characters.
Yeah.
It's not like
different timelines,
they're standalone.
Yeah.
Different city, different everything. And it's like a detective show, but with extras.
Yeah.
And it's got Jodie Foster's in it.
Oh, I like Jodie Foster.
There you go. You should watch it. Episode 2 is going to be out tonight. It was just like, what's happening here?
Oh, so it's not fully out yet?
No, it's on HBO.
Okay. HBO now? HBO Go?
I guess so. I watched it on another website. But yeah.
I'll see if I can find it to watch it.
It was very good. And it was very much like, what the fuck is happening here? It's got a bit of a The Thing vibe to it.
The Thing?
Like with Kurt Russell?
Yes, I know The Thing.
Yeah. It's got a Thing-like vibe to it.
Oh, interesting.
Because it's in like a research station in the snow. But the research station's near a city. Yeah. So it's not that bad. But it's like, what the hell's going on over here, everybody? So yeah, you should watch it. I don't know how it's going to go throughout the rest of the episodes.
We'll see.
Because season 1 was about like a serial killer. But it was told in it was like a flashback. Because they were interviewing like Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
As retired detectives about what this case was all about that they did 20 years ago. And then it would flash back to younger thems.
Yeah.
Where this one, it seems just to be as it unfurls.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You should watch it.
We did watch the first episode of, was it Welcome to Raccoon City? This is the Resident Evil series.
Wait, no, that's a movie.
Whatever the series is.
The one with Lance Reddick?
I don't know. Yeah.
Atrocious. Garbage.
Yeah.
Garbage. Terrible. I watched the first episode too. Absolutely.
I watched the first episode. I'm like, okay, going forward and back through time. Great,
just
that's
terrible,
fine.
terrible.
And then the ending, I was like, okay, this is how the
don't even bother watching anymore. Yeah, I was super stoked for that one.
Why would you do this? What is the security in this building?
I was stoked for that show because the previews made it look very interesting. Yeah. And then I watched it and I was like, oh, this is just terrible. Just terrible. Lance Reddick, so I believe that's why he died.
The best scene in that first episode is him when he gets called to the school.
And he threatens the guy's dad. Yeah.
And it's like, and the guy's like, oh, Wesker.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. We didn't mean anything.
Yeah. He was so, anyways, he's a good actor and everything, but like, I didn't think his character was very good in that show.
It's just, is it Albert Wesker?
Well, if he's supposed to be Albert Wesker, yeah.
Yeah.
But could it be like he's like Robin in the Batman movie, where it's just like Detective Robin or whatever the fuck he is?
He's just a Wesker, but high up in Umbrella.
Yeah. No, I think he's supposed to be out. Well, I don't know. I don't know. But that show was just fucking terrible, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah,
agreed.
I don't think you should watch. I only watched the one episode, and I was like, well, this can't get better anymore. So, so
probably not
anymore. Usually, the first episode is the best episode because that's the pilot. It's
it's pilot. Yeah,
we'll buy that show. This is what we want. More of this, please.
That's what gets you hooked in the first episode, and then you want to watch more.
No, thank you.
Yeah.